Hi, I'm Marisa Morby. It's nice to see you all here. Thanks for coming out. Hi. And what I'm going to be talking about today is making open source more open. So we obviously, Gatsby is all based on GitHub and is out in the open. And one of the things that we've wanted to do is make sure that it's as open and welcoming as possible to people that maybe haven't contributed before ever in open source, or are new to open source, or are just new to Gatsby in general. And so that's something that from the beginning they've wanted to be able to make sure we focus on. And so I'm here today to talk about that, how we have designed some of our processes, what we've learned, and then a little bit about what we're planning on doing next. So, like I said, from the beginning, we've had lots of contributors. I think Kyle mentioned that, we're just over 1,000 contributors now. And so it's been a great community that has been so active and engaged. They've been helping us to not only do things like fixing the docs and also helping with the code base, but they're also just very engaged in talking to one another, talking with each other and helping. And we've been so fortunate to be able to have a community that is talking to us like this and that's engaged with us, that we really wanted to be able to think, how could we do more? How could we show our appreciation for our community? How could we show them that we valued them and that they were important to us? What could we do to show our appreciation, but also make sure that, it's a small team? So how could we do that without overburdening the team in general? And then how could we continue to help the community? So we started with these few questions and decided in a group, what kind of bubbled up to the surface? What could we do that would be both valuable, show appreciation, and help the community in a cycle, where we are helping one another. We're giving, they're giving, we're giving, they're giving. And the things that bubbled up to the surface were both swag and pair programming. So these are two things that are available now, both swag, the swag store, and then with pair programming, people are able to sign up and join a pair programming session. But to set these up, obviously, it required us to ask some further questions, not only of the team, but also of the contributors. We needed to know, what were they interested in? What did they need from us? And then from there, how could we help them, also being a small team, also being distributed, without having to spend so much time focusing just on that we were lax on other things. And so we asked a lot of questions around this process. What is that going to look like? For instance, if we're going to do swag, how do we do it in a way that is removes as many manual touch points as possible? How are we going to do it in a way that we can reach our entire community? We have people that have gotten swag now in over 41 countries, which is pretty amazing. So obviously it's a huge breadth of people, and we wanted to be able to equally show our appreciation. And so we asked these questions, sat down and talked through it with the team, and came up with a few things. We've learned in asking this that automation is key. So again, how do we remove those manual touch points? How do we make sure that we are guarding for people's time? And how do we ensure that everything we do is also scalable? As we are starting out, there's just a few of us, but a lot of contributors. And as it grows, we're going to get hopefully more and more engagement and more interest and more people. And what that means is we're not going to be able to be in there every day doing things ourselves. So we thought about scalability up front so that we could get that out of the way. We also wanted to make sure that we were balancing this internal visibility and the processes that we have. So as we are creating these things, if we're trying to remove manual touch points in order for swag to go from the very beginning, where we've got nothing, all the way through to finding people to fulfill it, to being able to have a place to place orders, to having discount codes, all of that, how do we make sure that the whole team knows what's going on internally, and also all of our contributors know what's happening as well. And so these were some of the things that we learned as we went and had to think about up front as well. And so the last thing that we wanted to do was also keep complexity low. So we didn't want to create a system that we wouldn't be able to manage, and also create a system that then would be too difficult even to start. So specifically for the swag store first, and then I'll talk a little bit about the pair programming. But we used a little bit of flowchart mapping to be able to think through that. And what this is it shows you all of the touch points that we thought through in order to decide how we were going to set up the swag store. This is before we've done anything. Like, we sat down and walked through it. And when you're looking at this, the circles are an action and the hexagons are a decision point. And what we did was walk through each possibility that might happen. Luckily, with something like the swag store, since A, it didn't exist, and B, it's our first run through. We only solved for like a couple of flows. Are you a contributor? Are you not a contributor? Are you a maintainer? Are you not a maintainer? So it was pretty simple. There wasn't too much complexity there, but we had to talk through it and see, okay, if we know where the switchovers to different technology happens and where those decisions need to be made, how can we then remove us actually having to do something? How can we automate it a little bit more? And so what we've been able to do is create a dashboard that allows people who have contributed to get a code to become a maintainer, and then from there they are directed through this flow that allows them to then order swag for free, and they can get it anywhere in the world shipped to them. And it creates this positive feedback loop where we're showing our appreciation and also being able to release the burden on some of our team. For pair programming, since we had this same idea, what we decided to do, all we wanted to do at the very beginning was make sure that we were able to get people in and talking to us. And so right now we've got a Calendly invite that's open, and anyone can go in and sign up to do pair programming with some of the team. And it's been fantastic so far. We've gotten some great feedback on that. So we've set that up in the past month or so, couple months, and the result has been quite positive. As you can see, we've done this all just so that we can get pictures of shirts on dogs, but I feel like that's a good effort. And we've gotten a lot of positive feedback on the pair programming too, seeing a lot of new contributors that maybe we wouldn't have seen otherwise. So as we are thinking about moving forward, obviously this is something that we want to grow. So Kyle talked a little bit about V2. So Flo would probably be terrified if I showed these sketches, but these are some sketches that our amazing designer Flo has come up with. He couldn't be here with us today, and hopefully he's asleep in Europe so that he doesn't yell at me. But these are some amazing designs that he has come up with that we're gonna increase swag, get more stickers out there, have some options for people, and then also thinking about how to expand pair programming to get more people involved, because it's been so wonderful to see the response from everybody, and creating this positive feedback loop just creates such a strong community, not just here, but it's been throughout the world, and it's been really amazing to see. Thanks so much.